Hi, everybody. I thought I would do a brief supplement to Chapter 4 because I had a bit of a brain freeze yesterday going over this total revenue curve. And when I kind of thought about it a bit more, there's an intuitive alternative way of looking at it. So I thought I'd try to share that with you in case that's any help to you. Might not be. Anyway, so here we have these two um, curves. So this is slide 26. I changed the slides here. Anyways, it's slide 26 in chapter 4. So we have our demand curve on the left-hand side. Same old demand curve as always. You have the elastic end, the elastic range of the demand curve at the top end. You have the inelastic range at the bottom end, and then we've got unitary elasticity in the center. And so we have price on the y-axis, and we have a quantity on the x-axis. And then when we have the total revenue curve. So remember that we can see price elasticity of demand two ways. One, through its effect on changes in quantity demanded, and that's the first way. And the second way is looking at the effect of price changes on total revenue, and that's the second way here. So in the total revenue curve here, what we have on the x-axis, we have the quantity, which is the same quantity that we have on the x-axis of the demand curve. And then on the y-axis for the total revenue curve, we have total revenue rather than simply price that we have on the demand curve. And I have to admit, when I when I kind of look at this diagram, there's something a little bit counterintuitive about it, and it sort of bothered me. So I kind of thought about it, and I figured it out. And I'll tell you how I understand this thing now. I think if I had been a little bit smarter in the first presentation, what I would have done to this total revenue curve is I would have made a second x-axis. And so that's what I've done in the green here. I've created a price axis on the second x-axis. You know, these charts, we have x and y-axis. You can also have a double y and a double x-axis. So on the top, I've simply plotted in the price. And this price range is the same price range that we get from the demand curve. So at when quantity equals 0 on the demand curve, the price is at its maximum. And when quantity is at its maximum, price is at its minimum. So I've put the scale kind of backwards here. Here's $1.10 per minute on the left-hand side, and zero price on the at the other end of the y-axis, or the other end of the x-axis here. So to me, this is more intuitive because we know from the demand curve that the point of maximum revenue is unitary elasticity. Unitary elasticity is the point of maximum revenue. And we have 2 points of minimum revenue. One is when the price equals, when the quantity equals 0, right? So when quantity equals 0, price times quantity is going to equal 0. So minimum revenue is there. And then we also have minimum revenue at the other end when quantity is maximized, but price is 0. So that's also minimum total revenue down here. So when I see this price axis on the total revenue line, it makes a whole lot more sense to me because I intuitively know as the price declines, the total revenue increases to the point of unitary elasticity, and as the price continues to decline, the total revenue starts to decrease. And this is just what we said before. So we have this little summary, and I fixed the next little chart that goes along with this. I figured out what was wrong. I figured out what was wrong with this chart. I took out the word, they put change there, and I just put my little delta symbol in, and I moved this increase over, and then these things all lined up. Yesterday, these things didn't line up properly, and my eyes got kind of crossed. So what we know is that when in the inelastic section of the demand curve, price and total revenue are inelastic, sorry. Okay, yeah, when in the inelastic section of the demand curve, so that's the bottom section, in the inelastic section of the demand curve, so that's in, no, my mouse here, in the bottom section of the demand curve, price and total revenue are directly related. Oh my, obviously I find this thing very frustrating. So price and total revenue are directly related. As price goes up, total revenue also goes up in this inelastic section, and obviously if price declines, then total revenue also declines. They're directly related. And in the elastic section of the demand curve, price and total revenue are inversely related. So as price goes up, total revenue declines, or as price goes down, total revenue increases. So this little table on this slide exactly corresponds to this chart of the total revenue curve. Anyways, I just find it easier to plot the price axis on this total revenue chart. And, you know, I think if I had been smarter, if the authors had been smarter, you would put this price axis on the bottom, because normally when we look at charts, the x-axis is the cause and the y-axis is the effect. And when we're looking at the price elasticity of demand, changes in price are the denominator. Changes in price are the cause of either the change in quantity or the changes in total revenue. Anyway, so when I look at it that way, I said, oh yeah, I can plot plot prices on the x-axis or on the second x-axis. Then I can easily intuit the causal correlation between the changes in price and the changes in total revenue. As price declines from the maximum point, total revenue increases up to the point of unitary elasticity, and then total revenue decreases as the price continues to drop. Anyways, I don't know if that helps you at all, but it makes more sense in my mind. Anyways, that's it. Talk to you later.